They find some cash in a very interesting place. Now, put yourself in that scenario. What do you do? And how much cash would it have to be before you start wondering, should I keep it or should I find the person who it belongs to? This happened to Josh Fair, and Josh is here with us in studio. Josh, how long had you owned this home?
Several hours.
You own that. You were in the home for several hours.
Yes.
And was this in the garage? Is that my understanding?
Yeah, I had just gotten word from my real estate agent that everything had gone through and it was the final. Everything had been recorded, so I decided to go have a moment at my house.
I've experienced the moment.
Because it's your first house, right?
It is, and I'd actually been sick. I've had pneumonia, and so I was not going to go do any work. I just wanted to go connect with
drink
my
it
house.
in, right? Yeah.
And I found out I had a man cave in the garage.
Sweet.
So I had some tools, and I was setting them in the drawers and plugging in my little rechargeable thing. And I looked up and saw a little access panel into the attic space above the garage. I noticed there was some carpet there. I thought, oh, maybe it's a hidey hole for my kids.
Yeah,
fun.
A nice little place to play hide and seek. Went up there, and there was a box. An ammo box, World War II, I was guessing.
You said it was really big, too.
Well, the box was big, but it was really heavy. And I at first thought it was like holding something together up in the roof. And when I pulled it down and opened it up, I immediately began to freak out. And so I locked it in my truck and called my wife.
Well, it's kind of scary. First of all, when you see the box, there could be a body in there. There could be... I've watched Antique Roadshow enough to know
You never
it could
know.
be some really cool things in there, right?
And
Yeah.
what was it?
It was rolls and rolls and rolls of money. Cash.
Rolls of
20s, 100s, 50s, lots of ones. It was heavy because it was half full of silver dollars and quarters.
Oh,
and things
wow.
like that.
All right. That moment when you see it, give me a flashback. What's going through your mind?
Well, I just didn't know how to comprehend it. And at the time, I thought maybe I'd found $1,000,
Yeah.
which I thought was pretty
That'd be cool, yeah.
It was pretty great. So I called my wife and was saying, "You're not gonna believe what I found." It was one of those moments where I was like on Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah,
and I was the guy with the cool thing, and I told her, I'm like, "Tara, I think there might be 2 or 3 more boxes up there."
Oh.
So I climbed back up, and there were 8 of them.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and so I just packed them into my truck because they've been in this garage for years, for decades. And I realized how unsafe that was, so I took them back with me and asked my parents and my wife to sit down and help me count it all.
Oh, fun.
And we stopped at 11:30, 11:45, and we counted 700 ones. And there was still two garbage bags packed full of ones that we didn't even bother counting.
And so who do you just call the police,
And
or did you call
first-
your real estate agent?
Grand total?
Well, we don't know. I think they're still at the bank counting it all. So we stopped at 40,000. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so
So who was the first call?
well,
Police or real estate?
Stop. There's a discussion here between your wife, maybe your family members, on what the appropriate action is.
I did call my agent, my real estate agent, because I wanted to know, what do I do? And
You're like, is it like the curtains? It comes with the house, or?
And, those thoughts crossed my mind.
Is it drug money? Is it? Yeah, it could be anything.
I knew it was. I immediately knew. I've heard stories of World War II era people who didn't trust banks.
Yeah.
Lived through the Depression and wanted to have it nearby them. And I assume that's what this gentleman
Did you tell
was
this
doing.
money was old by dates on it? Was it
It was
pretty
all
old?
from the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
Maybe some from the 60s.
Okay.
Nothing older than 88.
So your agent said you knew who you bought the home from.
Yes, we did know. And immediately, there's that part of your mind that goes,
40.
we could do a lot with this money.
Yeah.
I have a broken car. And we've been wanting to adopt a child.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a kitchen that needs to be totally redone and a house that needs a lot of remodeling. But you just can't let those thoughts linger. because they begin to haunt you. You know, we knew we needed to give it back, and we were going to have fun giving it back. We were going to turn this into an event, something our children would remember forever, and it is. It's been a
Because
ride.
the man who owned the house for years and years and years had passed away, and so his son had sold the house to you.
Well, it became an estate, and then the whole family just kind of, you know, they spread it equally among the children. There was no one person.
No
that
one
was-
person. Okay, so tell us about the surprise. This was just last night.
Well, it was funny. I called up the one son and said, "Hey, I found something in the house that I feel belongs to you, and it would be worth your time to come pick it up." And I didn't tell him what it was, because I wanted to reserve that. I wanted to be
You
able
wanna
to
see the surprise, yeah.
expression on their faces.
If you
when
can't
I
keep
said-
the money, you at least want the thrill of giving it back.
Yeah,
I totally get that.
yeah, we brought them over, and I think they freaked out a little bit. I had spent that night before with 40 grand at the foot of my bed in garbage bags, and I did not sleep well. It was really bothering me to have that much cash just, you know, around. So upon the recommendation of a colleague of mine, we called Zions Bank, and they made arrangements to get the money immediately into a vault where it would be safe, and they wouldn't have to have that same stress that I had had the night before.
Right.
And so did you meet at the bank or did you meet at your house?
We met at the house.
Okay.
The house where their dad lived, the house where we found the money. We met in the little kitchen.
And what was their reaction?
Well, I think when you say, we actually brought out just the 50s and the 100s at first. I was going to milk it, right? I was going to have fun with it.
You were
Ryan Seacresting it. Yeah.
And my kids brought out the two little boxes full of 50s and 1s. And then I said, that's not all. And they went and grabbed the garbage bags. My 7-year-old son walks into the kitchen and just flings these bags of money onto the ground with all this drama and gusto and just bags upon bags of money. And they were just stunned. I think, you know, when I told them at least $40,000, we're ballpark, you know, we didn't count the ones, so we think it's probably around 45. What do you say?
Right.
You know?
But they weren't I mean, they were shocked, but they had said their dad was known to hide money under drawers and things like that. So.
Yeah, they'd found a little stash of money taped to the bottom of a drawer earlier. So they knew that, you know, they weren't too surprised that he had done this. I think the amount is what's just mind-boggling.
Well, and whoever confronts that much cash in any circumstance, if you don't work in a bank, you've probably seen more cash in one time than most people will ever see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my son sitting in this big pile of money. My 4-year-old son. And I'm like, this is never going to happen again.
Now, did they want to give you some of it? Did they want to offer you a reward? Anything like that?
My intention was to do what was right.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to concern myself about that.
But they haven't offered at this point.
At this point, I think they're probably still counting all the money. And I'm not concerned about it. I wanted this to be a pure action on our part for my kids to remember we did not do the selfish thing. We didn't ask for anything back. We did what was right. And
well, you absolutely did. And what an incredible example and lesson.
What a
for
great
everybody.
story. This is Josh
Absolutely.
Farron. And if you want to see the surprise, there is a video on KSL.com right now. You can go there and watch when they surprised this family with what is about $45,000 they didn't know about.
Phenomenal.
It is so exciting. Thanks, Josh, for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Telling us that story. That is so fun. And you love when someone does the right thing, and then we can talk about it, and people will just be giving you a slap on the back all day. That'll be fun. Well, this is The Browser, and coming up,